5 years ago yesterday, we launched the Megyn Kelly Show out of my children's playroom on the Upper West Side. We pulled a little bit from that first episode, and here's how things sounded.
I need to create a show that I control, in which my only fealty will be to the audience and to the truth. So that's why I'm here. You know, I'm sick and tired of the news today, and I hope to be a place that you can come for information that you trust, right? That you know I'm not in the bag for either side or for anybody, and a place in which opinions, even heterodox opinions, can be expressed freely, and we can debate ideas, any ideas, right? And that you guys are sophisticated enough and smart enough to handle it.
Yeah, that's still how I feel. And you are smart enough and sophisticated enough to handle it, because we've talked about everything. There is not a third rail we haven't touched on this show in those 5 years. And I feel definitely that I've grown personally and professionally from it. And I hope you have too. I hear from a ton of people, and like the number one comment I'll get is, you make me feel less crazy in a crazy world. Like, you help me understand that I'm not the nutcase. Like, when we just talk about like our opinions and, oh my God, wait a minute, I'm not the only one who's feeling this way. And I love that the show has served that purpose for people. And here's to another 5 and 5 beyond that. And beyond that, don't retire. Don't retire. When I look around at the people, older people who are like thriving, that's what I see. They didn't retire. They kept working, kept their minds active. Can I tell you, I'm just going to tell you a story, because we've been talking for 2 hours now about what the solution is on what's happening in our society. And I don't have the answer. I'm not going to sum this up with like, and here's the secret answer I've been holding back. But I'll just tell you a story, and hopefully this person won't mind it. I went to a birthday party on Friday night for one of my best friends. I love her so much. And she's got a very eclectic, wide group of friends, but it was an intimate dinner party. And among the guests there was the actress Marlo Thomas, who had been married to Phil Donahue for 50 years. Such a dear man. He came on my NBC show. She came too. They were so in love. And when I'd met her before, but I never spent an evening socially with her. And when I first met her that night, I thought, oh boy, because I know our politics are different. And I thought, I hope this doesn't turn into like, how can you like Trump? And you know how it can go. I totally underestimated her. None of that came up. We didn't do politics at all that night. I think it was a diverse group in terms of our leanings. Didn't come up at all. Instead, we sat around a dinner table and we all talked about what was important to us, how we'd built our businesses, how we'd built our families, how we kept our kids close to us and made sure they didn't drift, too far away or lose touch with what matters. And she's 87 now, the most valuable stories and life lessons for us. First of all, she gave us hope for what life could be like at 87. I mean, she is totally physically together. There was no cane. There was no, nothing scary about the way she walked. She was strong and in command, going from A to B. Like, you would never have thought that she was in her late 80s. And secondly, her mind was firing on all cylinders. Her memory for detail 80 plus years ago, right there, and no rambling. Forgive me, but sometimes when you're very elderly, not to say she's very elderly, but when you are, you can ramble, not even a hint of it. Knew exactly how much to give in a story, where to end it, how to deliver it. It was just, she was an inspiration from like that standpoint. But her stories were so inspirational. And she talked a lot about her dad, Danny Thomas, who was a big star, and what it was like to grow up his daughter in Beverly Hills, and the life that she had and the close relationship they had, and the story of how he started St. Jude, which, you see Marlo pushing for all the time. And just when you have a longer time, I'm going to tell you the story if I get her permission to share it directly with all the details that she shared. But my point is simply, don't give up on your fellow Americans just because they don't share your politics. And don't make politics the price you have to pay for engaging with them. I've said it many times before, but it was just another example of it. You don't have to talk about politics with everybody. You can have delightful, enriching, meaningful friendships or in this case, just evenings with, people who are diametrically opposed to you when it comes to your politics, without even getting into that stuff. And I'm so glad that that's how my evening went with her. I would love for more evenings to go like this between all of us so we can see each other's humanity and not make everything about Trump or our fights or the darkest news of the day. And especially with somebody like that who's been around the block and has some wisdom to dispense. Like, what a gift for me, as somebody who's obviously considerably younger than she is, to be able to receive all that wisdom, which I never would have had access to had I made her politics the issue. So those of us on our side of the aisle need to remember not to do that too. Like to stay open-minded to the humanity and the wisdom and the loving lessons that our elders have to give us, irrespective of who they voted for. And also, I think especially on the Republican side, to remember not walking in with a chip on our shoulder, right? Because I think what a lot of us are used to being the ones getting attacked and being misrepresented and being loathed. And that doesn't mean that they're all like that. Some are like that, and when they show their colors, that's fine. Okay, you can cut them out. But many aren't like that. Many are totally delightful and don't care. They don't like the way you vote either, but won't make that the stakes if you don't. And maybe we can start learning from those people and start loving those people a bit. Maybe that's just like the glimmer of hope. Anyway, that's the one I have to offer. That actually wasn't what I planned on doing these last 7 minutes on, but I'm glad we did. So anyway, huge thumbs up for Marlo Thomas, who is still very much missing her dear Phil Donahue, one of the greatest. I mean, truly, there was no one better at it. Oprah tried to pretend that she was, but no one held a candle to Phil Donahue in the way he would disarm his guests, gently make fun of them, get their guards down, make fun of himself, get the audience fired up, only to pull it back in when he realized it was getting to an uncomfortable point. The love you always felt from him, the mockery he did of himself, always to put everybody else at ease. One of a kind. When inflation jumps, when you hear the national debt is over 37 trillion bucks, do you ever think maybe now would be a good time to buy some gold? Whether as a hedge against inflation, peace of mind during global instability, or just for sensible diversification, Birch Gold Group believes every American should own physical gold. And so they created something special. Until September 30th, if you are a first-time gold buyer, Birch Gold is offering a rebate of up to $10,000 in free metals on qualifying purchases. To claim eligibility and start the process, request an info kit right now. Just text MK to the number 989898. Plus, Birch Gold can help you roll an existing IRA or 401k into one in gold, and you're still eligible for a rebate and free metals of up to $10,000. So make right now your first time to buy gold and take advantage of a rebate of up to $10,000 when you buy by September 30th. Text MK to 989898 to claim your eligibility and get your free info kit now. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.